Live from Dallas and Fort Worth, this is CBS 11 News at 11, the ones for Texas.
It was just a loud boom.
Right now at 11, a teenager is dead and a woman hospitalized after an explosion down in Austin.
And a traffic alert for drivers after a big rig rolls over and loses part of its very heavy load.
But first, some breaking news as we learn one of the victims of the deadly helicopter crash in New York was a Dallas firefighter. Thanks for joining us. I'm Russ McCaskey.
And I'm Gilma Avalos in for Karen Borda. Jason Allen is working to gather details on this breaking news story and joins us live in the studio. Jason?
Yeah, Gilma, that helicopter crashed into New York City's East River Sunday night, and we have confirmed here in just the last hour that Brian McDaniel, who is a Dallas firefighter, was one of the 5 passengers killed in that crash. We just got that picture of him there a few minutes ago. We also have video that you saw there that was taken from a cell phone that shows the helicopter hitting the water on the city's east side, and this was last evening. The pilot was the only one who survived that crash, and the pilot had called for help over the radio just before that helicopter went down.
Zero Motel, mayday, mayday, mayday. East River, engine failure.
This was a sightseeing helicopter. It was chartered for a photo shoot, and the passengers were all wearing very tight harnesses to keep them in. They could not get out as that chopper went down in the 40-degree water. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating. We are working on getting more information from Dallas Fire Rescue about that firefighter who was on board, and other local media also reporting that there was a second victim, also from Dallas, on board that helicopter. Russ?
All right, Jason, thanks. We'll continue to follow that throughout the day. Meantime, right now, a traffic alert for Dallas drivers. A big rig has rolled over, shutting down a part of a ramp to Loop 12. Authorities said the truck's load shifted as the driver took the ramp, and a massive pipe that it was carrying rolled off the bed and onto the grass. The good news is no one was hurt, but the cleanup there continues. Traffic expert Madison Sawyer is here now with ways to get around that wreck. Madison.
Yeah, Russ, this is a situation you don't want to see happen, especially on a ramp that connects 2 major roadways in the Dallas County area. But you can see we've got 2 different scenes working. First of all, that big rig wreck, but also the pipe down here a little bit lower that was lost in that wreck when it rolled over. So again, a major ramp closed here. This is the ramp that connects 30 eastbound and westbound to Loop 12 southbound. So in the meantime, while this ramp is closed, you basically have 2 options in order to access Loop 12 southbound. Your first option, closer to the Grand Prairie area, exit at MacArthur, take that down to Davis Street. Davis Street will then lead you to the southbound lanes of Loop 12. Or if you're closer to downtown Dallas and you want to exit at Cockrell Hill, that'll lead you down to Davis Street as well, and then you can take that back to Loop 12. But again, this is a situation that's going to keep developing throughout the afternoon hours and could likely impact the afternoon commute as well. Again, Loop 12 southbound, your connecting ramp from 30 east and westbound completely closed.
Thank you, Madison. New this morning out of Austin, police are trying to determine who left an explosive at a home that killed a 17-year-old boy and injured a woman. Neighbors along the street have now been evacuated. In the last half hour, police revealed they believe this could be linked to another deadly package explosion from March 2nd. In that case, a man died after picking up the item left on his front porch. FBI agents have joined the investigation. Investigators say they do not believe these packages were delivered by the U.S. Postal Service, but rather that someone likely dropped them off at the homes.
Well, right now, Atmos crews continue to work 24/7 to try to replace about 2.5 miles of natural gas lines in northwest Dallas following a deadly house explosion. CBS 11's Brittany Jeffers joins us live at the Walnut Hill Recreation Center with the details on the progress. Brittany.
Well, Russ, we are now on about day 10 of that planned outage here, and many residents have been living in hotels for the time being. Those who chose to stay in their homes are without heat or hot water. Now, 2,800 homes, as we mentioned, were affected as those Atmos crews worked to replace the natural gas distribution mains in the area. Now, the latest update from Atmos reports that gas has been restored to 180 homes and evacuation has been lifted from all but 2 buildings at Chapel Creek Apartments. Now, people who chose to stay in their homes told me this morning that while crews have been very courteous and accommodating, the outage is starting to drag on.
I'm just taking it day by day. That's all I can do.
Basically no heat, no hot water, so it's been a little bit of an inconvenience, but we're dealing with it just because we have to. So the biggest thing is, like I was telling most people, is you can't clean anything.
Now, as we've reported during this outage, there have been several different buildings that have served as information centers for people. But as of today, the only one that is still open and available to use for resources here at Walnut Hill, this recreation center. Live here in Dallas, I'm Brittany Jeffers, CBS 11 News.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks. We continue to follow the progress made by Atmos. You can stay with CBS 11 on air and online for any developments. At least 50 people have been killed after a plane crashed in Nepal. Witnesses say that they saw flames after that plane crashed while trying to land. Emergency crews had to cut apart the wreckage to free more than a dozen people. Some of them were taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities have not said if any Americans were on board.
New this morning, Fort Worth police arrested their suspect in a deadly shooting. Investigators say 60-year-old Daniel Earl Hammock now faces murder charges. On Sunday, officers found a man dead outside of Gospel Tabernacle Church. Authorities are still working to determine a motive. The victim has not been identified. Drivers, you've been warned. Today, Denton police and state troopers are stepping up efforts to get people to slow down or move over if they see an emergency vehicle on the side of the road. It's a law that's been in place since 2003 and focuses on protecting first responders, TxDOT workers, or tow truck drivers. So if you see one of those vehicles on the shoulder, you either have to drop your speed by 20 miles per hour or move over a lane if it's safe to do so. Its violators could be fined anywhere from $200 to $2,000. Smokers can no longer line up in bars and bingo halls in Fort Worth. The new law went into effect at midnight. It also prevents smoke shops from opening up within 300 feet of schools and hospitals. City leaders are also considering banning smoking in public parks. For the first time in 20 years, the TCU Horned Frogs are in the NCAA tournament.
It's well documented. Look at all those cell phones. That's the moment that the team got the news on Sunday. They played the winner of the Arizona State-Syracuse matchup. You can watch TCU's game Friday night right here on CBS 11.
6 other Texas teams are taking part in March Madness, including Texas Southern, Houston, A&M, and UT. And if you want to see a game in person, Texas Tech plays Stephen F. Austin at the AAC on Thursday.
We'll wish them all well. There are two of the biggest names in music, and they're bringing their new tour to North Texas.
President Trump is set to release his plans for new gun policies, what it would mean for teachers and Congress.
And if you've ever dropped your phone and watched its screen crack, you know how expensive that can be as a problem to fix. Now, one state wants to give owners a way to make repairs for less money.
Cool temperatures still across the area, but we do have plenty of sunshine and warmer weather on the way, especially later this week. We'll show you that warming trend when we come back.
School may not be in session for spring break, but DISD students can still receive meals during this break. Lunch is being served right now until noon for all students 18 and under. A morning snack will be offered tomorrow and Wednesday from 8 until 9 a.m. with lunch served from 11 until noon. Now, we have put a list of participating schools on our website, cbsdfw.com. Just look under links and numbers.
A broken cell phone can be inconvenient and expensive to fix. A new law in California hopes to give consumers the option to fix it themselves. It's called the Right to Repair Act, and it would force tech companies to make their own genuine parts available for purchase, along with repair manuals. Experts say the act would save people money and increase a phone's longevity.
I think it should be similar to auto parts, where you can go to a Ford dealership and buy an OEM part for your car. Or if you choose to buy a cheaper, just as good aftermarket, you could do that as well.
Experts believe the act could also cut down on electronic waste because fewer people would be throwing away their devices. Missions to Mars could begin as early as next year. That's according to SpaceX founder Elon Musk, who spoke at South by Southwest in Austin about the prospects of launching unmanned crafts to the Red Planet. But he also joked that next year may be a bit too optimistic. SpaceX plans to send humans to Mars by 2024.
Wow, he is pushing the envelope, no doubt about it. Well, the North Richland Hills Public Library is hosting a blood drive today to benefit Carter Blood Care. You can stop by the community room between 1 and 4 this afternoon soon if you'd like to donate. Carter Blood Care officials tell us they need donations from more than 1,000 people each day in order to keep pace with the demand from hospitals. Well, a scare for some passengers headed to Dallas. What forced their Southwest Airlines flight to make an emergency landing?
And the White House is announcing some new gun measures nearly 1 month after a deadly school shooting. What the president will not be asking for in his proposal. Southwest Airlines mechanics are working to determine how smoke filled the cabin of a plane mid-flight. This happened last night after Flight 3562 departed Phoenix for Dallas. The pilot made an emergency landing in Albuquerque. Authorities say 2 people were taken to the hospital, but their conditions have not been released. The remaining passengers were put on another plane that arrived this morning. Some sad news to report on a story that we've been following in Parker County. Authorities found the remains of a dog that had been missing after a crash. Cody escaped from his harness following the crash on I-20 last week. His family was moving cross country when the wreck happened. Volunteers rallied to find Cody, and the sheriff confirmed his remains were recovered yesterday near railroad tracks.
An emotional night in Aledo as friends and family remembered 2 men who died at the very place where they worked. This vigil outside of Temptations Cabaret honored Cesar Estrada and Leo Martin. Police say that Trevion Wilson shot the managers Thursday night after they refused to let his girlfriend pick up a shift. Wilson and his girlfriend, Alexis Burgess, have been charged with capital murder. President Trump set to release his plans for new gun policies, and the moves are in response to the school shooting down in Parkland, Florida. Mola Linke has details from the White House.
Nearly 1 month after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, the White House is announcing its plan on new gun measures. The president's plan would provide for rigorous firearms training for some teachers and urges Congress to pass a bill to make the federal background check system more effective.
The flow of information that goes in the background check system from local and state courts is more updated. Real-time information is made available.
Arming teachers and fixing the background check system are both policies supported by the NRA. The president is not asking Congress to raise the age to buy assault weapons to 21, despite his previous support for the idea.
It doesn't make sense that I have to wait till I'm 21 to get a handgun, but I can get this weapon at 18. I don't know.
The president's rhetoric about raising the age to buy assault weapons to 21 has died down since he met with NRA officials at the White House. He took to Twitter this morning, responding to criticisms that he dropped the proposal. He wrote, "On 18 to 21 age limits, watching court cases and rulings before acting. States are making this decision. Things are moving rapidly on this, but not much political support, to put it mildly. Getting an age limit passed through Congress would be very difficult."
I would not support the law. You know, we send our sons and daughters over to Afghanistan, in Iraq. They defend our freedoms. I think if they do that, they ought to be able to have the right to buy a hunting rifle.
Florida passed a bill last week to raise the age to buy rifles to 21. The NRA is now suing the state. Mola Linke, CBS News, the White House.
Army officials are trying to determine how a 90-pound package airdrop from a helicopter missed its target and landed at an elementary school in Hawaii. This happened last week while children were at recess. Witnesses say some kids ran toward the package, started jumping on it before adults ushered them away. The package held food, a tent, and batteries. Military leaders say the helicopter crew was taking part in a training exercise and was aiming for a base about 200 yards from the school. Weekend storms in East Texas are blamed for at least 2 deaths today. A 40-year-old woman from South Texas was killed when a tree fell on her tent. Her husband was seriously hurt. 3 children in the tent were not injured. Authorities say the family was camping at Lake O' the Pines when the storm blew through late Saturday. In Longview, a 41-year-old man died and a 12-year-old was hospitalized after a tree fell onto a mobile home early Sunday. The National Weather Service says it was straight-line winds that caused that damage.
And boy, we all felt the front when it blew through here. Saturday was gorgeous. Sunday, we had much cooler weather and all that.
Right, much cooler, cloudy for a while, and then a little bit of rain for some to the southeast of the Metroplex, but nobody's seeing the rain today. In fact, we've got plenty of sunshine, maybe a little bit later than we're used to. This was the view early this morning. Maybe your work drive looked a little bit different because the sun was still not up as we were getting into the 7 o'clock hour. Slowly, though, late in the 7 o'clock hour, got that sun up, and it will stay with us through the day. Just some high clouds in the mix here or there, but a mostly sunny setup nonetheless. quiet as we take a view from our satellite and radar. And this is kind of the trend we are in for the next several days. Lots and lots of sunshine. This large dome of high pressure is going to stay centered across middle sections of the country. So we're not talking rain chances anytime soon. We will slowly be talking about a warming trend. Still cool, though, right now, 50 degrees DFW, 49 from Dallas and Fort Worth at 50 degrees. Our winds much lighter today as well. You'll keep that north wind very light, around 10 miles per hour. Other numbers across the area: Plano 48, South Lake at 49, Denton 47, Grand Prairie checking in right now 46. It is still cooler, though, than this time yesterday, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler. We'll slowly make up some progress towards those temperatures we saw yesterday as we get to the low 60s. Right now, tracking those 50s through much of the afternoon, but a high temperature of around 61. Again, it's a beautiful day. We'll stay below average today and tomorrow. We're slowly seeing a warming trend develop as we get into the middle of the week. Thursday and into Friday, we will be seeing this dry line, it looks like, try to set up back to the west, followed by a cold front. However, neither one moving through until the end of the weekend. So what does that mean for us? Continued very low rain opportunity and also building warmth across the area. That south wind looks to stay rather gusty heading into the weekend. So day by day, a little bit warmer than the previous. This is what it's going to look like for the first several days. Very comfortable, but downright warm, summer-like weather Friday into Saturday. So consider that for those St. Patrick's Day plans. Rain chances again, guys, staying low. I don't think it's a washout, but it is awfully warm heading into the holiday.
I think I can take some summer-like temperatures, though. Annalise, thanks so much. New this morning, legendary designer Hubert Givenchy has died at the age of 91. He was credited as a pioneer of ready-to-wear clothing and was also credited with helping to redefine fashion after World War II. In fact, he designed the iconic black dress that Audrey Hepburn wore in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Country singer Tim McGraw is on the mend after collapsing during a concert in Dublin.
He's been super dehydrated, and I apologize, but I made the decision that he cannot come back out on stage.
That's his wife, Faith Hill, addressing the crowd after the scare last night. McGraw's publicist says medics treated the singer and he will be fine. Sunday was McGraw's third concert in 3 nights. Bay and Jay are coming to AT&T Stadium. The couple announced a new tour day with a September 11th stop in Arlington. Tickets go on sale March 19th, and you know they'll sell out quickly.
Say, how long do you think it'll be before those sell out?
Not long.
All right, well, the American Airlines Center celebrated the Mavs entertainment team with a burger fit for a maniac. On Sunday, the AAC's executive chef created the March Maniac Burger with one thought in mind. Of course, it had to be big. He started with an 8-inch bun and 2-pound patty and then brought in the Maniacs to finish it off.
Really, there was a lot of jalapeno, a lot of bacon, a lot of cheese, and then the onion rings, and so it was real simple for us to put this together in a matter of about 5 minutes with the children around.
Only 16 burgers were created, one for each of the Maniac seasons with the team. A more manageable version will be available at every game this month at the new Valor Bar.
That's bigger than his face. Did you see that comparison there?
The key there was a lot of everything.
Right, big.
A very special birth at one U.S. zoo. Why zookeepers were very excited about the birth of this new penguin chick.
And as we head to break, here's a look at what you'll see tonight only on CBS 11. The Oregon Zoo is showing off the newest member of its family. This Humboldt penguin chick arrived on Friday and is the first hatchling of the year. Zoo officials say it took a couple of days for the little one to break out of its shell. It will go on display this summer, and the chick is part of a threatened species. You can see right at home already. So
what a
cute.
cutie.
She's trying to shake that last little bit of egg shell off.
Trying out his beak, too. Thank you for watching CBS 11 News, the ones for Texas.
We'll see you tomorrow morning, beginning at 4:30. Join us then.